I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah. Jumpin', them boys up to something.
Please be advised of the disclaimers. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. This is Pinnacle Trading here. Today we're going to take a look at two stocks to buy right now, whether it's stocks, options, or investing or trading. Two picks that I'm going to be going over that you should buy immediately. Before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell button next to it to stay notified on all my future videos. Let's get into it. So the first one, before we get into that, let's do a quick market recap and see why these two picks are good. So let's go ahead and look at S&P 500 right now. SPY, that's the ticker for that. And let's look at a yearly chart on this one. So you can see we had that another correction. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is about the third correction, and this is the biggest one we had all year in 2018. We saw SPY fall all the way from 294 area all the way down to 258, 259. So huge drop on that, about 40 points on that one. So looking at that, we can see markets coming back up very strong. Let's look at it zoomed in a little bit on the 180 day. You can see we're seeing that small jumps in the MACD. So we're seeing it slowly climb back up and then sold off again, didn't come back up. That's usually what happens with the correction. We see small bounces up and down until it can steadily go back up, which we're seeing on the MACD. So we're seeing markets right now. They broke 280 this week. So this was a solid week, and then we had that initial sell-off at the end of the week. But we had a huge rally from 271 all the way up to 281 area. So that's about 10 points on that. So that's a big run up this week, but we saw that sell-off. And we also had some political news and also bonds and all that stuff that's going on right now, and the interest rates with the mortgages. So we saw that sell-off, markets ran up, and I expected that, alerted that in the chat room as well since Wednesday that we're going to see a sell-off, which we did. But so far, markets looking good, coming back up slowly, and we're going to see them continue to rise up from that huge correction that we had right there and come back up slowly. So I'm looking for markets to test 275 area, and I say that because looking at the Fibonacci, let's go ahead and load that up. Looking at the 180-day Fibonacci, we can see that 50% right here at 273. So I alerted that in the chat room that on the 5-day, that if it was going to break that 278.3 area, that it's definitely going to come back down, test 275, and it didn't break that. It came down to 276.2. So that was very good, but we didn't see a break below. So looking to see a run up next week. So the two picks that I was talking about, the first one is going to be Apple, guys. Everybody knows Apple. I'm sure you're watching this on iPhone or MacBook right now. So we can see the Fibonacci retracement. You know, it didn't test that 50%. That's a big area, big solid support for any stock, any solid growing stock over time. 50% is a big retracement on that, and it didn't test that on here. Came down to about 198 area, but didn't break that. So that was very good, and then bounced back up, and we're seeing that second consolidation. So looking at even the 1 year chart, you know, we're seeing at 38.2%, which is a very big solid support. So we're seeing that test again, but being that on the 5-day, it didn't break below that. So that was a very good sign. It didn't break below that 200, not even that 201. So I'm looking for it to bounce back up. And looking at my scripts that I have on here, looking at the yearly chart, you know, we're seeing that downtrend on here. But as long as it doesn't break that 200 support, which is that entry range between 200 to 205, that is a very solid buying range, being that the high was 233.47. So that's why I like this. And looking at the 180-day chart, we can see that double bottom on the RSI on the 180-day chart. And you can see it's coming down, but it also forming sort of that bullish pattern and bullish flag pattern, and needs to break out next week. Let's see. So as long as it, you know, stays at this 200 area, that's a very solid buy range between 200 and 205. My next one that I want to talk about, which I already took a position in on Friday at around 74.5 area, is Square. So they do mobile payment readers, and you've seen them in the restaurants, or you can see them on the mobile. You can also see them around food trucks. They also have Bitcoin trading and many more. They're really expanding very fast in a short period of time. So being that the stock came up from all the way from 34 up to 101, and we had that huge correction or drop whatever you want to call it, but recently it fell because of the earnings. Even the earnings was good, we've seen the guidance little weak on that, and some news came out on this, so we saw a drop. So looking at this, from this you can see it's not testing that 200 SMA. It did try that second time that it fell, but it bounced back up. So it's drawing that pattern right here. So look, let's zoom in a little bit on this on the 180 day. You can see it's trying to test that 70 again, but being that on Friday, even though markets fell a lot, we saw that huge buying on this. You can see that huge volume buy bars, and at the end of the day we saw it go up and a little bit up in the aftermarket. So I got a couple breakout alerts on this, but I averaged down. My initial position was around 74, low 74s, added a little bit when it was closer to 75s, and averaged down again between 74.5. So that's my average right there. But I should have waited a little bit when it was testing 70, but I see a solid support at 70. Let's go ahead and look at the Fibonacci on this one. So on the yearly chart, you can see that 50%. Again, same thing with Apple. It didn't break below, but this it did. Usually when it hits that retracement, it comes down a little bit below, and that there's a big reason why. It's to shake out weak hands. So if you have stop loss set around right there and you're setting it tight stop loss, it's going to take you out. It's going to take out stop loss. It's going to take out weak hands, and then when you're sold, that's where the big buyers come in. Wall Street, market makers, long-term investors, that's where they come in, buy back up, and you can see that huge bounce back up. So let's zoom in a little bit on the 180 day. You can see that 61.8%. So retraced a lot harder on the 180 day, but again, right now it's staying at that 50% and didn't go below. So that was a very, very good area that I like to see bounce off of, and I also took a position on this as well. So next week I'm looking for this to run up hard along with the markets. So taking a look at futures right now, not too much movement as of now since they open, but we're going to see definitely some sort of bounce back on tomorrow when markets open up again. So those are the two that I want to go over, Apple and Square. Those are the two big picks that I see great value in right now, and looking for markets to bounce back up next week as well. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell button next to it to stay notified on all my future videos. If you want to join the chat room and receive live trading alerts, along with be a part of a great positive trading community, make sure to head over to pinnacletrading.us, and you can grab a 1-week free trial at no cost by scrolling down and clicking the join now button to see how we are and how we run. And if you want to join the membership, head over to the membership tab, and we have simple month-to-month plan pricing and simple pricing setup. Our gold includes our options, investing more, and your diamond includes one-to-one mentorship access, where we teach you how to get started with trading, whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, started with investing, trading stocks, options, and more. And if you want to grab our 6 and 12 month plans, we have that as well, which saves you money in the long run.